came across this article about Mario Lopez expressing his opinion on transgender kids, though that opinion is more likely fact. He shared this opinion while on the Candace Owens show. Owens made a statement that Hollywood has this weird trend where celebrities are taking cues from their children about gender identity. Charlize Theron was used as an example because she has a 7-year-old boy who originally identified as a girl at 3 years old. She said, "Yes, I thought she was a boy too, until she looked at me when she was 3 years old and said, I am not a boy." Owens added that her experience as a nanny has convinced her that children don't always mean that what they say, explaining, "I am trying to understand this new Hollywood mentality where they just think their children now have the mental authority." Where Lopez responded, "I'm trying to understand it myself and please don't lump me into that whole group." I'm guessing he means Hollywood. "I am kind of blown away too. Look, I'm never one to tell anyone how to parent their kids, obviously, and I think if you come from a place of love, you really can't go wrong. But at the same time, my God, if you're 3 years old and you're saying you're feeling a certain way or you think you're a boy or a girl or whatever the case may be, I just think it's dangerous as a parent to make this determination. Then, well, okay, then you're going to be a boy or a girl, whatever the case may be. It's sort of alarming, and my gosh, I think about the repercussions later." He added, "When you're a kid, you don't know anything about sexuality yet. You're just a kid." So the fires of hell had to rain down from Twitter, where liberals foolishly believe they are tolerant. And they show their tolerance by saying things like this: "Mario Lopez should mind his business and worry about his own children. Everyone is entitled to their opinions, even wrong ones. But criticizing someone's parenting publicly crosses a line. If a child isn't being abused, observe quietly." Mario Lopez is canceled just for appearing on her show, let alone what he actually said. Candace Owens and Mario Lopez are spreading idiocy on the PragerU social channel about trans kids. I posted 3 replies but wanted to make sure this is on your radar too. Good luck getting work now, Mario. Which is typical of Hollywood. If you say something against their beliefs, you don't work there anymore. Then this smarty chimed in and said, "The interview demonstrates a misconception of gender expression," says Christina Brown, a PhD, a social psychology professor at the University of Kentucky. She says, "Some children who explore non-stereotypical forms of gender expression are transgender. However, others just want a flexible gender expression." Brown tells Yahoo Lifestyle, "Kids are drawn to what they find aesthetically pleasing and there's often not deeper meaning." She's right, there's not a deeper meaning unless the parents encourage it. Then it becomes something. Dangerous for these children, says Brown, is expecting them to look and act in a way that doesn't feel natural to them. And conflating sexuality, as Lopez said, with gender expression deepens the confusion. Well said, Brown. You are changing our hearts and our minds. You made us a little bit smarter with your wise words. We are going to change ourselves right now. I applaud. This commenter said, "I've said it before, what kind of parent lets their young child make any major life decision without guidance? When my son was 3, he insisted he was a cat and acted it out for a few months. Oddly, my wife and I never encouraged that. We treated him like the human boy that he was, and he's normal." Story time. When I realized I actually existed, which was about 4 years old, and all the way up until I was 12, I wanted to be a boy. They looked like they had more fun and I hated wearing dresses. It was pushed on me too much. But I also wanted to be a dog, because dogs are awesome. In fact, I wanted to be a cat after I discovered Catwoman. And I even tried eating like a cat from a bowl. I identified as a boy, a cat, and a dog. Then from 13 to 18, I was a tomboy. Then after 18, I got over it. The end. What's funny is that this girl identifies as white, and that's wrong, all of a sudden, but if she identified as a boy, that would be okay. Let's take a look at some facts. Developmental milestones chart. This is what's expected of a 3-year-old under physical, cognitive, and social. Notice under cognitive, they are egocentric, illogical, and they have magical thinking. They're imaginative under social, may involve fantasy and imaginary friends. They also have vivid imagination, some difficulty separating fantasy from reality. They are still learning to speak. They don't realize others have different perspectives. They have primitive drawing abilities. Their hand-eye coordination is starting to develop. Oh, and look, they can draw shapes. How very adult of them. And let's not forget the toilet training. Curious about his or others' bodies. Notice the word curious. And at the bottom right, primitive. Stereotypic understanding of gender roles. Under emotional, they have self-esteem based on what others tell him or her. And of course, they look to parents for that. This is the Denver too. It's used to see if children of the right age are developing as they should. There are 4 categories: gross motor, language, fine motor, adaptive, and personal social. You find the age on the chart, and as the age increases, so do their abilities. This is basic development. So how can a 3-year-old ever decide that he or she is a boy or girl? So let's take a look and see at what age certain responsibilities actually start. Age 7. 13 states have set a minimum age from 7 to 12 for criminal responsibility. You can be as young as 12 to get married with parents' permission. At 14, you can legally work with a permit. At 18, you can vote, join the military, donate blood, work full-time, play the lottery, and a whole bunch of other stuff. 19, you can legally drink in Canada, drive and talk on a phone, but you will get caught, smoke in New Jersey, but you shouldn't, legally gamble in Alabama and Nebraska, but you should save your money. 21, of course, you can drink, you can go to casinos, own a gun. Up to age 24, you are still a dependent according to FAFSA. You cannot file as an independent unless your parents are dead, or another reason I forgot. But even if you are estranged from your parents, they will still consider you a dependent. 25 is when you're fully legal. The University of Rochester Medical Center wrote this article about understanding the teen brain. Notice that this is the teenage brain, not the child brain. The research said it doesn't matter how smart teens are or how well they scored on their SAT or ACT. Good judgment isn't something they can excel in, at least not yet. The rational part of a teen's brain isn't fully developed and won't be until age 25 or so. In fact, recent research has found that an adult and teen brain works differently. Adults think with the prefrontal cortex, the brain's rational part. This is the part of the brain that responds to situations with good judgment and an awareness of long-term consequences. Repeat, long-term consequences. Teens process information with the amygdala. This is the emotional part. Well, Hollywood proved them wrong because they don't seem to be judging with their prefrontal cortex. So if teens aren't developed enough to think and be legal in certain situations, how can a 3-year-old declare a new identity? If you like this video, subscribe to my channel and check out my other videos. Make sure your notification bell is turned on so you can get updates for new videos and answers to your comments.
Educate yourself!